Have you ever stepped onto the dance floor and frozen your tracks? Did you wonder, are people going to stare at me? Am I wearing the right thing? Who can I ask to dance? What if they say no? What if they say yes? What happens if they want more? How do I dance? Where should I dance? Oh, they're too good. I don't know if I can dance with them. First thing, take a deep breath. My name is Dennis Lyle, and I'm going to answer all those questions for you in this video blog. I have been teaching ballroom dancing and competing for 37 years. I'm a three-time national ballroom champion. I have owned and managed ballroom studios all over Southern California. And this video blog is here to help you solve those concerns that you have about going out dancing. And today the conversation that we're going to be having in this dance blog is dance etiquette. This is always such an interesting conversation because we come from so many different points of view as dancers. Today's dance etiquette is really all about common sense, realizing that we are occupying a space with other people, and there are a lot of different determining factors that have us enjoy or not enjoy an evening out of dancing. So today's conversation is less about technical things and, again, more about those common sense things that we apply to dance etiquette. So we're going to start off with, before you actually go out dancing, what does that look like? Well, one of the most important things for us to keep in mind is that when we're ballroom dancing, we're in a very close proximity to another person. And so staying aware of how our grooming, how we prepare ourselves for going out dancing has an impact. Just basic hygiene is always the best route to go when getting ready to go out dancing. Failing to do those small little things that we need to do to smell nice and look nice, no matter how good of a dancer you are, no matter how great your personality may be, your partners probably aren't going to enjoy that as much as, say, had you showered up, did whatever you did that you would do anytime you were going to go out socially in an environment with other people close by. So obviously that's one of the first things we want to start with. Also, one of the things that sometimes we don't think about is for a lot of us when we go out dancing, it can be a very aerobic exercise. That means that we're going to perspire as we're dancing. And have you thought about maybe also as the evening goes along carrying some extra deodorant with you? Maybe even also carrying some breath mints as the evening goes on. If you have a little snack, maybe it had some garlic in it or something. And even though you might enjoy the taste of garlic, your partner may not enjoy the smell of it on your breath. So again, before you go out dancing, really think about what it is that you're up to, what kind of impression that you'd like to create with people as far as how comfortable they are being in that close proximity to you when you're dancing. You know, dancing is obviously a thing where we all like to get dressed up in our own personal way. Some of us like to walk out in tuxedos and evening gowns. Others of us feel very comfortable in shorts and t-shirts. My suggestion for what to wear in dancing is always based on two things. Number one, how do you look? And number two, how do you feel? And when I say how you look, I think that appropriate clothing is the most important choice for you. If you're going to a formal affair, showing up in blue jeans and a polo shirt's probably not the best thing. Having said that, keeping in mind what you're wearing needs to be appropriate for the fact that you're dancing with another person. For instance, on a gentleman who perspires a lot, wearing a short sleeve shirt may make sense to you because you'll think that you're much cooler. However, keep in mind that as you're perspiring with those short sleeves on, your partner's also in contact with that arm that's perspiring. So you may want to reconsider your choices about what type of clothing would be most appropriate. You want to make sure that the clothing that you're wearing is comfortable in the sense that you can move around without binding, without tearing out anything that you don't want torn out. For instance, if your pants are too tight and you bend over to pick up something you dropped on the floor, you could end up ripping them out. So that's what we mean by comfortable clothing, is clothing that you can move around comfortably in. You also want to consider taking some extras. I'm one of those people that perspires when I dance. I love dancing. I love the exercise part of it. I'm enthusiastic when I'm out there dancing. And I realize that because I do tend to perspire a lot, I have learned to take extra socks, extra shirts especially, maybe even a towel to dry off. That way I can remain cool, so to speak. So great. So you've figured out, you've got yourself all groomed. You're all set and comfortable and ready to go. One of the first things you want to do when you arrive is take a look around. Why do you want to take a look around? Well, because there are empty seats. The thing that you may want to remember is that not every seat that's empty is empty. In other words, the person sitting in that seat may be up dancing. So if there's someone sitting in the area nearby, just like anywhere else, is there anyone sitting in the seat or is it available? That's always kind of a good common sense choice in that process. One of the other things that when you arrive and you're getting yourself all set to dance is keep in mind that when you take your shoes out, you change your shoes, whether you're carrying a shoe bag or a purse or whatever it is that you've got, it's always a good idea to place those items under a chair that you're sitting on or behind the chair where it might be safe where you can still see it. Uh, Most importantly, you want to make sure that your personal items are not sitting out in front of the chair where people are going to trip if they're walking by your spot or if they happen to be dancing. Not all dance floors have a space for the chairs off the floor, so you want to be particularly present to the fact of whether or not those items that you took off or set down are going to be in someone's path when they're dancing. Next thing to look at is you want to observe the room. You want to kind of get a feel for how people are dancing. Every place that you go dancing is a different environment. People are going to act differently. They're going to express their ways of having fun and dance in different ways. And I think that it's always a good idea to be able to fit in. Now, what I mean by fit in is not do what everybody else is doing, but just notice how everybody's doing it. So when you're going out dancing, you can fit into the flow of how people move around the room. You can create a comfortable environment for yourself and other people. It's kind of like observing traffic as you're coming onto the freeway and getting a feel for how you can fit into the freeway. So next, of course, is the one that's the most important for everybody, asking somebody to dance. In today's environment, we have women that ask men to dance, men that ask women to dance. Either way is great and awesome. One thing that I make a request of anybody is to keep in mind that we always want dancing to be a safe environment for everyone there. In particular for women. We always want women to feel that they have a choice to say yes or no. When the dance is over, they get to walk away free to choose whoever they want to dance with next. And also, once the dance is done for the evening, we want to make sure that those ladies feel comfortable, that they're not having a stalker chasing them down, someone's not being overly insistent, they've fallen in love with their first dance and now they're going to run off happily ever after. Humor aside, want to realize that when you're asking someone to dance, that you want to leave personal space. You don't want to crowd their personal space when asking them to dance. We don't want to be physically intimidating to people, which makes them uncomfortable right off the bat. You want to make sure that when you're asking someone to dance, just like any other conversation, you make eye contact. Probably the biggest fear of everybody is that two-letter word, no. Not every single person is going to dance every single dance throughout the evening. And just because you get a no doesn't mean that it's a personal take on you. It may simply mean they just don't want to do that dance. And there's nothing wrong with that. Getting a no, I think, as a professional, we're used to getting no's even from people that know we're really good dancers because they don't always want to dance. So I've learned to not take it personally and just go ahead and move on. There are lots of people to dance with and want to take the opportunity to move around and meet as many people as you can. So you've asked somebody to dance, we're ready to go, now we're going to step onto the dance floor. So one just caution about stepping onto the dance floor, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the people dancing, how they're moving around the room, and how you're going to get on the floor and get ready to start whatever dance it is that you're going to dance. If you're doing a rhythm dance, I don't think it's such an issue, but if you're doing a smooth dance, you might want to consider where to start that dance. And probably right out in the middle of traffic wouldn't be the best place. Just like getting onto the freeway, we have an entrance ramp that allows us to get up to speed before we actually merge into traffic. You might want to consider that as a smooth dancer, finding a comfortable space that you can get set, start dancing, and then move into the flow of dancing without feeling that you have to go crazy because traffic's coming up behind you. Now, where to dance is also one of those conversations. Of course, the obvious one is if there's a smooth dance going on, we want the traffic to flow in a counterclockwise direction around the room. We don't want to go against traffic in a one-way street. More importantly, though, is develop the ability to have floor craft. And floor craft is the ability to move around people, whether they're standing still or dancing. You want to dance defensively in the sense that you want to look far enough ahead of you that you have time to maneuver around someone if they stop or they have a misstep and they have to restart themselves and so on. It's really great when people have that skill. So whether you're a beginner dancer, an intermediate, or an advanced dancer, the ability to maneuver yourself around the floor really comes with extending your vision out away from the front of you. So the dance is all over. Some people seem to think that a thank you is associated with whether their partner danced well. I'm a firm believer that a thank you should be for one reason and one reason only, not because they were great, but because they said yes, and they didn't have to. So I thank everybody I dance with because I had the opportunity to get out on the floor and have some fun for 2 or 3 minutes with somebody. You can ask people partners as many times as you like to have another dance. Keep in mind, though, there may be others who might like to dance with your last partner. Sharing's always good. Allow them to have the choice to dance with other people. Allow other people to dance with them also. So you're at the end of the night. It's time to say goodbye. It's always great to say thank you for anybody that's nearby that you danced with and enjoyed. Let them know that you had a good time. As far as asking someone out for coffee after a dance, I always feel, maybe true love can develop later. I think the first time that you meet someone at a dance, you might want to not overlook the fact that they enjoyed the dancing, and that may be exactly what they enjoyed, that there isn't anything beyond that for them, and you can always find time to meet with people later on. What I think might be better is, instead of worrying about that, would be to let someone know how much you enjoyed dancing with them. Just show up the next time at that dance and see how it goes. And if something develops, great. And if not, and it's just you enjoy dancing with that person and you're having a lot of fun and they're having a lot of fun with you, wow, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. I hope you've enjoyed these common sense dance etiquette tips. I'd love to hear from you in the comments box below. Let me know what you think or what questions you have. I might just answer your question in my next video blog. Also, stay up to date with all the dance-related advice by hopping over to theballroomtemecula.com. I've placed my link below as well, and you can join my newsletter list. One more thing, if you're in the Temecula area and are looking for a safe environment to practice your social dancing skills, join us at one of our upcoming social dances. Awesome music, great people, good time. Every other Saturday at our ballroom in Temecula. And good dancing, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next time.